Yo, what's up guys? Mike here, owner of Mac Financial Group. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be going over the report section in QuickBooks Online, but we're going to condense it down a little bit. There's a lot of reports in there, as you'll see, but we're only going to be going over the reports that small business owners should really learn, understand, and look at regularly to see how their business is performing and how they can continue to grow. So if you guys could hit that subscribe button down below and hit the alert so you see when our videos come out. Right now that is every Sunday, and also share this out to anyone else that you think will benefit from this information, and make sure you stick around to the end of the video. We're going to go over how you can get 3 free stocks and start your stock portfolio out risk-free today, and we have another personal finance tip and a cash flow tip for your business that we're going to go over. So hope you enjoy the video and stick around to the end. Alright guys, so to get to the report section in QuickBooks Online, you'll go to the left navigation bar here and click Reports. Now the first thing that you will notice when you click on reports is there are a lot of reports. So that's why I'm making this video. I want to make sure I go over the ones that you guys need to focus on regularly and you know how to use them. So first thing I did was I favorited the reports that I wanted to go over in this video, and you can customize what your favorite reports are and the ones you're going to look at yourselves by just going down to the report list and clicking the star, and they'll pop up on the top. So first report we're going to look at is the profit and loss statement. Now, this is the one you guys are probably the most familiar with. You hand this into your accountant for taxes, and it's pretty self-explanatory, right? You got your revenue on the top, minus your expenses, and it gets you to your net income. So let's go over the functionality and how to make it the way you want to view. So you're going to change your period that you view this, and you're going to be wanting to look at it in a multiple different ways. So you can change it to this month, this quarter, this year, last month, last quarter, last year. And if you click on that, it'll change these date frames for you based on what you're clicking in this quick list. But if you want to do this manually, you can just click right in here. And as a little quick tip, if you click on the month, you can quickly go to another month without having to do this whole scroll. So if I want to choose January 1st, and you can do the same with year, so I don't have to click all the way over to go to January for the next year. I can click January 2020 first there, and we'll go to June 30th of 2020. Now you can change the way the columns are displayed. You can do it by day, by month, by quarter, customers or vendors. The only options I really utilize here is by month or by total. In a previous video, I go over how to compare by project. So check out our job costing series. You'll be able to go back and see how you can create a report by customer or project and compare that to budget, actually, which we'll do in just a second. So I'm going to show you what this looks like though. So if I click on months and I run the report, I'm in the wrong year, sorry. Let's go to January 1st of 2020 and June 30th of 2020. And I go, and I'm clicked on months. Now we'll see that you see a breakdown, not just that total that we were seeing earlier, but you can see how much we made by month. Makes it pretty good when you want to see what months you do well at. If you're seasonal, this really helps out because then you can see what months you're making the most money and how to manage your money in the off months. But for this video, we're going to keep it on totals. This drop down really just, if you want all of your accounts to show, even if there's no activity or any non-zero transactions, I keep it on active. It's only going to show you the accounts that have transactions for the period that you select. And it just keeps it a little cleaner and condensed so you don't see all the zeros. And then if you want to compare to a prior period, you can use this drop down. Now this comparison section only allows you to compare to a time frame, not budget. And like I said, we're going to go over that in just a second. Your accounting method will be either cash or accrual. Cash meaning you're only booking when you physically receive money or when you physically pay out money. And accrual is if you're booking as of when the work is being performed. So I recommend accrual basis. It gives you a whole picture. If you're in cash basis, your profit and loss statement is not going to tell you what you did, but only when you received money. The accrual basis will tell you what you did that month, and then you can use your balance sheet to see how much people owe you. You're not going to see any of that in your accounting detail if you're in cash basis. So then we can also go up to here for customize, and we can change this period again. And maybe we always want to just have a year-to-date report, and you want to change your number format, your accounting method, any filters. Maybe you only want to run it for a certain customer sometimes, and any header footer changes. Anything you change here, you run your report. Now, all the changes we made up here, if you like the view down here and you like what we did, let's say we compared to prior year, right? And you don't want to select those options every time. You want to make sure that you save your customization so that you can just go right into your custom section, and this report will run exactly the way you just set it up. So if you go back to your report list and go to custom reports, see we just saved the profit and loss year to date, and it's exactly the way you just did that. If you don't save, you're going to have to redo all those steps over again. So I'm going to jump into the budgeting section, because this is how I like to create a profit and loss statement compared to budget. So if you go to the budgeting section, and if you created your budget, again, go back to the job costing series we did. We showed how to create a budget in there for a project, but it will, if you don't select a project, it'll do it for your entire company. So if you go over here, we have a 2020 budget, and we'll click this drop down, and we're going to run the budget versus actuals report. Now, you can only create a budget for a profit and loss statement anyway, so this will automatically run a profit and loss statement for actual versus budget, and then you can change any of the criteria that you would like. So if you want to change the period, or again, all those things we just went over, you can do that. And then save customization and name this P&L versus 2020 budget. So you could save that, and again, right in your custom reports. Now you have these two reports exactly how you want them, and you can just go right to the section and run them. So there's one more thing I want to show you. You can email this out to anybody you want. You can print it out, or you can export to PDF or Excel if you like working in there better. And you can also change the quick settings here. Really just spreads it out. I like the compact one here, but these are great, especially if you like working in Excel, or you want to show the PDF to somebody. All right, so let's look at the balance sheet now. So we go back to our report list here. Now your balance sheet's for your accrual basis, folks. And there's three sections I want you to focus on, and I want you to know the difference between the balance sheet and the P&L. So again, the P&L is going to give you a snapshot at whatever point in time that you select of how much income you earned and how many expenses you had. Those aren't rolling balances. The balance sheet, however, are rolling balances. So this is how much cash that you have as of July 3rd. That doesn't mean that even though this is the criteria, that you only had this much cash during this time frame. The only real reason this is here, and the way I use it, is say we just select July 1st to July 3rd, right? You'll see that the balances haven't changed because we still didn't change this last date, because this is going to drive what the as of date is. So if you click on the amounts, you're not going to have any detail behind the account. But if we go back and change that beginning date back to January, January 1st, and run the report, balance is still the same, but if we go into the detail, now you'll see all the transactions that got us to that 1,201. So make sure you know the difference there and how to use this date range for it to make sense. So this function too is also on the profit and loss statement, so you can see the detail behind any account by just clicking on the amount based on the period that you're selecting. The next section I want to go over is your accounts receivable and your accounts payable. Those are probably your next two pieces that you really need to take from this report. I would just use this as a quick snapshot first to just say, okay, I am owed $5,281 and I owe $1,600 as of this date. And now if I want to go into the detail of that, I want to use the aging reports. It just makes it a lot easier and cleaner to use. You can go in and click that detail on there, but I think the aging reports gives you a much better picture. So we're going to go into accounts receivable aging now. And you're going to see all the customers that owe you money and what aging bucket they're in. So current meaning you sent them the invoice, you might have sent it on 7/3, and you gave them the terms of net 30, so you gave them 30 days to pay it, so they are not late on paying you yet. So that's going to be the invoices that are in the current bucket. If you had net 30 terms though, and they didn't pay you and it's the 31st day, they're going to move into this 1 to 30 bucket and stay here until they're 30 days delinquent, and then move into here, and so on and so forth. So again, it really gives you a good picture of who owes you and how many people are late. And now we can start clicking on all of these and seeing who we need to call and who we need to collect money from. So say this is our oldest receivable here, Red Rock Diner, for $156. That'll give me the invoice number 1024. So when I go into my invoice section, I see 1024, we're overdue 66 days. I can click right in here and send them a reminder or give them a call or whatever you need to do to get paid. That's going to be your best bet. So again, really clean way to view your accounts receivable and your accounts payable. And you'll see that $5,000 that we said earlier will tie, this total number here is going to tie right back to your balance sheet. So you use your balance sheet to get a quick snapshot, and you use your aging report when you want to start seeing who owes you and who you need to reach out to. And the accounts payable aging summary is very, very similar. Just instead of a list of customers, it's your list of vendors and who you owe money to. And make sure you stay on that. You want to keep a good relationship with your vendors, and you don't want them waiting any more than you want your customers to pay you. So keeps you in line. Make sure that you're paying your stuff on time as well. And finally, your tax liability report. If you pay your own sales tax, I actually went over this in the last sales tax video, so go back through our videos and go over that. But if you run this report for the first quarter, and I run the report, you're going to see what invoices had taxable amounts and how much tax was on that. So it'll just help you fill out your tax liabilities and your tax sales and use tax when you pay it every quarter. So those are the only reports I really want to go over with you guys. Just real quick, I want to show you where you can find them down here. So as you can see, there are a bunch of different profit and loss statements right under the business overview section. I usually take this one and customize it the way I want, the way I showed you. It makes it a lot easier. And the comparison one, you can do it by time the way I showed you, or by budget the way I showed you. It makes it a lot easier. So this is the only one I really utilize. The detail I don't really find valuable unless I'm exporting it to an Excel sheet and I need to sift through every single transaction. But I would just look at it in this view and then click into the account to get your detail. It just makes it a lot easier and cleaner, in my opinion. The next report you can find under the business over is your balance sheet. And again, you can customize this. The comparison, the detail, and the summary. Again, I find that this one does everything I need, plus the customizations that I do, and I just save them and go into my custom reports. The comparison and detail are really going to be for your accountant, and again, to export into Excel, it makes it easier for that, and you have a little more detail when you're working outside the system. Who owes you section will have your accounts receivable aging. The what you owe section will have your accounts payable aging, and then the sales tax section has your sales tax reports that help out there. And there it is, guys, the report section in QuickBooks Online. Start utilizing it, looking at it regularly, and I promise it's going to help you out. All right, so I want to start out first with the two book links that I put down below before I show you how to get the free stock. So the first book down below in the description is The Richest Man in Babylon. This is a personal finance book. I still use the principles from this book to this day, and any of my friends or clients or anybody that asks me how do they start focusing on their personal finance or budgeting or things like that, I always send them this book first. It's a beginner's book, but I think it's great. I still use the concepts. You don't have to go complicated with this stuff. It's not that complicated. I still use some of these really simple concepts to make sure I'm on top of my money. So the biggest thing I take out of this is to save 10% of your money on the first of the month. And then you only have 90% of your money left over to spend on things. And what most people do is they just go through their month and spend what they think they need to spend, or spend whatever they want, and then they hope they have some left over to throw in the savings, and they never do. So if you do it the first of the month and just don't touch it, out of sight, out of mind, you're going to be surprised that you can still do everything you need to do, or you're going to get through your month with the 90% that you have left. So buy that book, read that. Highly recommend that one. The second book is actually Profit First, and this is the same concept actually as like we just talked about, but for business. So instead of earning your money for your services and spending what you think you need to spend all throughout the year, and then all of a sudden you run your profit and loss statement, hand it to your accountant, and you just take what's left over, right? You're doing the opposite. You're going to take your profit first, and then you're going to force yourself to have only 70% of that income as operating expenses. And you'll find that you're going to get really innovative, and you're going to only spend what you truly need to run your business. And you'll be very surprised with the things that you were spending money on that you really didn't need to spend money on for your business. So check out those two books, especially now with everything going on. I don't think we've seen the worst from COVID just yet. I think once all these stimulus things go away from the government, businesses are going to start to struggle a lot more, and people need to really start to focus on their personal finances, and the businesses really need to start saving money now so they can get through times like this. So check out those two books. I really recommend them. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'm looking forward to hearing how they worked for you guys. All right, now for your 3 free stocks. So there's a link down there for Webull. Webull is offering 2 free stocks if you sign up. That'll get your first one. And then if you deposit $100 into the account, and once you deposit $100, you'll get your second free stock worth up to $1,400. And then the second link below is for Robinhood. Click that link, sign up, and you'll get your third free stock. All right, guys, have a great week. Happy 4th of July, and I'll see you guys next week.